Hello everybody, Jordan here. The PH is silent. Man, that Baldur's Gate 3 cinematic. If you're watching this in the future, you're probably enjoying Baldur's Gate 3 right now, and for that, I am jealous. The cinematic, which was released last week, shows a Mind Flayer Spelljammer ship known as a Nautiloid. Well, they show a lot of cool stuff, like Ceramorphosis, which is how Mind Flayers reproduce. If you're interested in that information, I have a video on Mind Flayers. Click the top right corner of the video or check the description below. But in this video, we're going to talk about the Spelljammer Campaign Setting, how it fits in with the Forgotten Realms, and why a Mind Flayer spaceship is attacking Baldur's Gate. But first, if you're new here, I'd love to have you subscribe. I make lore videos on the worlds of Dungeons & Dragons, races, cities, planes of existence, so subscribe, hit the bell icon to be notified of future videos, and say hello to me on Twitter. Spelljamming is the act of space travel within the world of Dungeons & Dragons. Aside from some rogue campaign settings like Eberron, most of the worlds of D&D exist within a substance known as the Phlogiston. That name was taken from ancient Greek, where a theory was postulated that a fire-like element existed called phlogiston, and it was contained within combustible bodies. When something caught fire, it was the release of this phlogiston, which was in itself highly combustible. Phlogiston in Spelljammer D&D is highly combustible as well, and when traveling through it, all fire needs to be put out, and fire magic cannot be used. Otherwise, you'll ignite the space around you and can potentially destroy your Spelljammer ship. But Jordan, Forgotten Realms space isn't full of phlogiston. I saw that in your Forgotten Realms planets video, which is conveniently in the top right corner of the screen and in the description below. Yes, astute viewer, you are correct, because each of the worlds of D&D, realm space, Kryn space, gray space, etc., are separated from the phlogiston by a crystal sphere. One must use magic to punch a hole in these spheres and travel through the highly flammable phlogiston in order to arrive at another crystal sphere. Jumping from the Forgotten Realms into Dark Sun or Wildmount. Phlogiston exists in abundance within the Phlogiston, but trying to capture it and bring it into regular space, it quickly disappears. Much like the Planescape setting, Spelljammer wanted to unify all D&D settings, allowing players to travel from Dragonlance to the Forgotten Realms, etc. In Planescape, all of these worlds are part of the Prime Material Plane, but in Spelljammer, the Prime Material Plane is divided up into these crystal spheres, bobbing throughout the Phlogiston. The Phlogiston forms natural barriers between the two campaign settings. Spelljammer took regular physics and kind of threw it out the window. I think that's how you are potentially able to have D&D in space. Gravity works on a plane, like a line drawn through the middle of an object, and it doesn't change too much with mass. Meaning a planet can have gravity to land on, but also a Spelljammer ship has a gravity plane that allows you to walk about safely, so you don't go flying off. These gravity planes also hold oxygen in a bubble around the ship. All you need to do is find a planet with breathable air, swoop in with your ship briefly to replenish your bubble, and then you're set for more spacefaring adventures. But those Illithids and their spell-jamming ship, oh boy. Each race has crafted their own way to jam through space. Most use an object called a helm. A helm is a magical device that converts mystical energy into motion and force. It's the push that moves a ship. In game terms, you turn spell slots into movement for your ship, making wizards excellent helmspeople for a spelljamming ship. This could be to jump from planet to planet, or more minute movements like during ship-to-ship combat. There aren't any 5th edition rules officially for Spelljammer, but I will link some unofficial stuff that I think is pretty awesome in the doobly-doo below. As of 2nd edition, it was mostly priests or mages that piloted with helms using their magic. I've seen some custom 5th edition conversions which would let anyone with spell slots pilot, but obviously a cleric, bard, or wizard who has more spell slots than a ranger or paladin would be more effective. A druid helm pilot. Druids in space. That's just weird. That could be a whole campaign. Now, not all races will just use a helm and a wizard to fly through wild space. The beholders in Spelljammer use an object called an orbis, which is a living being that functions like a helm. And I shouldn't say objects because orbi are actually enslaved beholders. They are blind, pale, and helpless. They are bred to serve the beholders and power their ships. The dwarves use forges in their spelljamming ships, which converts the magical energy of item creation into momentum. They need raw materials to craft items, and the byproduct of that pushes their ship through wild space. A furnace is a piece of technology that takes power from magical items and creates movement. You can put in items, and based on their rarity, you get so much maneuverability. Similar are life jammers, which suck hit points from a creature to power a ship. Now, the Mind Flayer ship is known as a Nautiloid, kind of looks like a Nautilus. These Mind Flayers have a unique helm that links multiple Mind Flayers into a magical chain. The combined psionic power of these Mind Flayers create the propulsion for the ship. However, in the Adventures in Space box set, it states that a new helm has been created for Mind Flayers. The Pool Helm, which uses the Mind Flayer tadpoles to power the ship. And judging from the Baldur's Gate 3 cinematic, I think the Nautiloid was utilizing a Pool Helm. Very fast, very deadly. Mind Flayers hate sunlight, so the Nautiloid ship is designed to keep light out, providing enclosed spaces for its crew. A standard crew of 10 illithids, sometimes with additional slaves on board. Often Mind Flayer ships get into combat or find inhabited worlds to restock their supply of slaves, for use in creating more Mind Flayers, but also food. It is possible to repurpose a Nautiloid ship with a traditional helm for non-Mind Flayer crews. Illithids are a major race in space, with colonies and ships all over the various crystal spheres of the Spelljamming campaign setting. If you're interested in the world of Realm Space, which is the Forgotten Realms Spelljammer Crystal Sphere, I've made a video on it. You can check out all the planets of the Forgotten Realms solar system. Check out the link in the description. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like and leave a comment. How excited are you for Baldur's Gate 3? Remember to subscribe and share this video with your gaming group. Spelljammer 2020. I'll see you all in the next video.